I am Deborah Gravel with EBD Group at BioEurope in Hamburg, Germany. Today I am joined by Marco Cerato, the Senior Vice President of Business Development and Strategic Partnerships at Mundi Pharma. Hello.
Hello. Long name, long title, but doing BD.
Thank you for joining us today. Now tell us, what exactly is Mundi Pharma?
So Mundi Pharma has been kind of shifting into a partnership-oriented and purpose-driven organization. We've been introducing the purpose of moving medicine forward at Mundi Pharma in the past 12 to 18 months because we needed somewhat of a beacon for the organization to see on the long term what Mundi Pharma wants to be and why are we here. And we're here to serve patients as the other pharma companies in a way, but we want to do it differently. We're very close to patients. We do allow for local brilliance to happen and being close to the final customer somehow, the doctors and the healthcare providers as well as the patients. We're present in 100 plus countries around the world. We're an ex-US organization and we make roughly 2.5 billion in sales overall.
Great. And why is Mundi Pharma here at BioEurope?
Well, BioEurope, why not? I mean, it's impossible not being in BioEurope. BioEurope is such a good event to actually bring like-minded people together. It's about finding partnerships, and since we are a partnership-oriented organization, and we're very much focusing on strategic partnership, both in the development as well as in the commercialization of products, we cannot avoid coming here. And it is actually a pleasure for me. We see from old friends up to new companies that are up and coming. They have biotech companies that have very good assets. They're doing the research. They're taking quite a bit of the risk, and we're then there to take their asset on and make it a commercial success.
And what exactly makes Mundi Pharma unique?
Well, Mundi Pharma, so first of all, our purpose, which is we actually operationalize that purpose in what we do. So whenever we are in licensing an asset, whenever we are striking a new partnership, we ask ourselves, is this moving medicine forward? And that's been the trend in the new Mundi Pharma somehow. So that makes it unique. The people in the company, so we've been focusing on hiring very good professionals that can make a difference, and that is shown also in our commercial excellence. So you can say that the assets that we go after and the deals that we sign then result in true successes in the market. We've been able to inverse completely the trend of a product such as Invokana and Invokanamet that we've in-licensed from Janssen. And we've been able to create a 350 million business on biosimilars from scratch. So that kind of brilliance in the commercial excellence, as well as the fact that we don't only dictate from the center what to do to our affiliates in our group, but we actually allow for local brilliance. So they will have a degree of independence in the kind of decision they make, so to be close to the real needs of the patients and the healthcare providers.
And what therapeutic areas are you focused in?
So I would say, we're not specifically focusing in certain therapeutic areas. What we do, our model is about commercial platforms. So we're looking into the world and the market through a different lens. So we have 4 commercial platforms. We have specialty as one of the commercial platforms going to hospitals, and therefore we're looking for assets to get into that platform. ID, so infectious diseases, is a very important milestone in our journey, and that's been added just recently. Then we have the biosimilars, and we will go across therapeutic areas as long as those are biosimilars. We do have the specialty-driven primary care. I call it specialty-driven because we're very much focused on the specialist rather than just the GPs. We target the GPs in a different manner, so we're not the classical primary care company. And in that area, we have Invokana, so diabetes, as well as respiratory. So we will look at therapeutic areas around that. So friends for Invokana, friends for Flutiform, friends for the area of resp and diabetes, as well as CKD, so nephrology, renal, and cardiovascular. But again, it's based on the commercial platform rather than the specific therapeutic area. And then finally we have oncology. So we have a legacy in oncology with bendamustine, Levact in Europe, as well as 2 assets in development in oncology. So we're looking into that as well.
And can you give us a recent example of a successful partnership that illustrates Mundi Pharma's unique approach?
Well, so I think that the first one that comes to mind is the one that we've just signed in September with Cidara. So Cidara has an asset in development in phase 3, which is antifungal, rezafungin, and it's in development both for treatment of candida and candidiasis, as well as for prophylaxis in phase 3 right now of patients that go through BMT, so blood and marrow transplanted patients, heavily compromised in terms of immune system, and therefore in need of a protection versus infections such as fungal infections. We targeted that asset because we believe it's life-changing, life-saving for a lot of those patients potentially. So this is one of the new core. It's been a transformational deal for us. We got into ID. We're looking into other assets in the AD space in the same way to create a little bit of a portfolio there. We are there again because we want to save patients, save lives, and also because there is a certain bracket of assets in terms of revenues, potential, and so on. They are a little bit overlooked by other companies, and we pride ourselves of being able to see what others don't. So that's pretty much that deal.
In addition to attending partnership conferences like BioEurope, how else can someone get in touch with Mundi Pharma?
So first of all, there is a classical mail that you can send through the website, fine. That's not always very efficient. Just reach out to me. I'm quite visible, or to my team. We go to JP Morgan, we go to Bio in US, we eventually go to BioEurope Spring. We're around the world on territorial initiatives, so physically going and meeting with companies. And you can always ring up Mundi Pharma and ask for me. I'll be happy to answer. So we're very open to partnership, very open to company reaching out. LinkedIn is another platform where I do get a lot of requests somehow here and there. And I can assure you we'll be quite quick in answering and getting you an idea of how that asset could sit or not into our organization.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.